So we already have Frost in the room, which he plays modern TF2, so which does have some exciting stuff going on.
Is that Helldivers?
What?
Modern TF2? I don't even know.
No, like modern TF2 has some exciting stuff going on.
You mean like TF2, like
TF2?
Still going. Oh, I see. Okay.
They still get updates.
For the first time in a long time, we'll be discussing.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we are live. Excellent. Oh, I see a Lizzie.
Yep, we got a Lizzie.
Hey, Frost.
In time.
And I've told the kids not to bug us. Hopefully they'll oblige.
Because children follow instructions so well.
So very, very well.
They start strangling each other, and then it's even better.
No, it was my turn on the DS. Switch. Whatever.
You killed my cat in Minecraft.
I don't like food anymore.
Or like last night I put up a sign. I have a sign outside my door that I hang up. I'm like, I am in, I am in the shower. I can't come to the door.
This sign won't stop me. I can't read.
I'll still just knock on it for. Well, we actually
reading is not an excuse. There are pictures.
Yes, we have Kirby pictures because Kirby's got the swimming and the sleeping, but yeah, still doesn't deter him. 10 minutes, it's like, can't come. I'm in the shower. Gosh, kids.
Kids are in a quantum state of needing mom and dad whenever they're least accessible.
Truth. Absolute truth.
Get in both lanes.
Darn straight. Why is this not working?
Not as live as we thought we were?
No, just Botrix is not. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. All right, I'm going to get us started. Everyone ready?
Ready.
Kaboom!
Okay. It was many, many years ago that this little game called The Orange Box came out. And I bought it because I wanted to play Half-Life 2 in this interesting game called Portal. Little did I know, the one I would spend by far the most time on was something called TF2. I wasn't interested in it at all. I'd never heard of the original, and I wasn't interested until Petrivka here showed me a video called Meet the Heavy. And I was suddenly intrigued. This is episode 50 of I Think We Overleveled, and we're going to talk about one of the biggest games that we all shared, Team Fortress 2. How's it going?
Going well.
So, Petrivka, how did you hear about these meat videos? Because I hadn't heard about them at all till you showed them to me.
Boy, I was aware vaguely of the original Team Fortress Classic. I didn't play it, but I knew some people who did. And I think it was just me looking up information about the other games. I mean, like you, I was more interested originally. And the Half-Life, was it episode 1 and 2 that came in the orange box? I can't remember.
Half-Life 2 and episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah. I mean, I already played Half-Life 2, so I was looking for the new episodes. But I was like, well, I mean, there's these other games in here. And so I started poking around, and I'm like, Oh, because I knew that the original Team Fortress Classic is, kind of a more serious tone. I mean, they had the classes, but everything, it was based on the Quake engine, and
Hmm.
they look like soldiers, and it's just sort of like, okay, like it's a regular, shoot 'em up sort of thing, Call of Duty esque. But then I started seeing, stills, and then they started putting up videos, and
Hilarious videos.
this was completely changed my opinion of what I how I want to approach this. Made me actually interested instead of just like, the tryhards will go and fight this out on the internet. I'm like, no, this looks fun.
It helps that the music, which I am now playing because you can play this without getting anything claimed. It's awesome. The music was amazing. And it's interesting because the art style originally reminded me a lot of Incredibles. And that might be because the music was also pulling from that same spy
Real
60s
Pixar
era.
kind of vibes here with the animation.
Well, like the heavy looks like Mr. Incredible. Not that anyone looks like the demo man.
Yeah.
But it was just something that they went with it because it's that cartoony feel, but then you combine it with the over-the-top violence. And the writing for these was hilarious. Where it's just like, what is this game? I can't figure out what it is. And then you start playing it, and all the domination lines. And
Yeah, the voice lines also really sell it too when you're playing it. Like it's not just like you just hear only gunshots and rockets and explosions, but you hear all the tunes shouting random things as they're going through the world. It's great.
yeah, no, this is the one that was the funniest of the early batch. I felt
Soldier, yeah.
the soldier yelling about Sun Tzu inventing war itself. And it's like, I don't.
The soldier's so crazy.
Just I don't know. I love these things. And so, what was your like, Lunarstar Lizzie? Did you get introduced to this game at the same time?
Oh no, I think I'm the oddball of the bunch. I actually love to play Team Fortress Classic.
Okay.
So, me and my buddies, they got into Half-Life, and I mean, I had a hard time playing because my computer could not play it as well as my friends could. But we lent out Half-Life, and I had several friends that would let me borrow Half-Life. And Team Fortress Classic was actually, I got into that far more than I did Half-Life itself. And like we like to play, several of the mods. We played like Ricochet and Action Half-Life and Team Fortress Classic. And I think at least the one I spent the most time in was playing Team Fortress Classic. And so I kind of knew all the classes and everything else from just really enjoying Team Fortress Classic.
I forgot that Half-Life had a deathmatch. That's right, it did.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
it had a separate icon if you killed someone with the toilet.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The gravity gun is part of it. Yes.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'd already been kind of used to the classes, but like there were some major differences that were made that really intrigued me. Like for one, when the orange box came out, that was one where I was in class, and I think I probably talked about this when we talked about Portal, but the day it came out, that's when I had a classmate, just stick an earbud in my ear saying, you got to listen to this and hear GLaDOS. And I got home and I'm like, okay, what's this orange box about? Because Portal seems awesome. And I look it up and I see Team Fortress 2 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Team Fortress Classic. I absolutely love Team Fortress Classic. And so I kind of look at it, I'm like, wow, this is a different art style. It looks so much better than the old one, because the old one, they just look like generic soldiers. And I thought, like, when I saw the medic, the changes they made to the medic was amazing, because in the old medic, in Team Fortress Classic, you actually had to touch the people. It was a melee to heal them. And it did have the unique ability of, if you used it on an enemy, it was a virus, so it's like it would infect a poison effect on an enemy while it would heal a friend, but an ally. But being able to heal from a distance with a metagun, and like the art style And, I kind of love the whole big band, jazz, swing music stuff. So, like, I already like Team Fortress Classic, and every artistic choice they made was just totally up my aesthetic. I'm like, this is amazing. I love everything about it. So when I bought the orange box, I actually was incredibly excited for Team Fortress 2. Just as excited as I was for Portal, if not more so, because I had so many good memories of playing Team Fortress Classic. And I loved how a lot of the maps I already knew, like Two Fort. That was a map that was played like crazy on Team Fortress Classic, and they still had it in TF2, even though it was one of the worst maps in TF2. But it was still a throwback to something I knew. So
okay, should we say best map?
Yeah,
Dust
just
Bowl for me.
wait, just a sec. Lizzie, how did you get introduced to TF2?
I'm not entirely sure. Thinking back, I know I was already in college at the time, so it was likely this friend group, either Loonsar or my brother, possibly Breakfast. One of those was the one that was like, you should try this. I think you guys had told me about Portal. I had seen some TF2 play, and I'm like, this looks fun. Sure, I'll try this out.
I know you saw like your brother playing with me and Breakfast.
Yeah, probably. The funny thing is, this I think was actually my first M-rated game. Was TF2.
All right. Okay, so yeah, favorite map. You said Dust Bowl Pirate. Why?
I mean, I really like the format, the attack versus defense, and like you have one goal as each team, and I like that there's different stages, and it's just like a nice progression. There's multiple ways to get to the capture points, and so like the places you can go, but like there's just enough open spaces where you can always, with a coordinated team, find your way through, whether you're attacking or defending, and it's just an excellently balanced map.
All right, Lizzie.
I don't know if I have one in particular, but I really enjoy like the push the cart levels. Those are some of my favorite.
Yeah. The payloads were a later introduction. Those were very fun.
Basin was my favorite of the payloads.
I'm trying to remember.
Basin
remember the name.
It was 5 control. It was 5. You pushed to 5 different control points, and I just remember. And we'll get into the secret agent clan in a bit, but I just remember.
Was that a tug of war one, or was that just attack defend?
It was just attack defend, and I just remember if I was on offense, always being pissed off at DeBoss because he'd play scout and he'd get after you've pushed a bit, he'd get behind you as scout and as an engineer, which was my most played class. You'd never get a teleport up, and you could never catch him, and it pissed me off. But I loved him for it. But no, Lunasar.
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was a payload one, and it was kind of one where there was like an alcove that was overlooking the final point, and I could be a demo, and I could arc just to launch my pipe bombs.
I think that was Badlands.
Was that Badlands?
I think so. I know which one you're talking about.
But I love that because
I know there's an attack defend Badlands.
Because there was a one where like
there's Badwater Basin, which is the one I was talking about. Let's see. I'm looking for.
But like, I just love like that final choke point and how I could, if me and an engineer were set up in the right spot, like an engineer could cover people coming around the corner, and with me as a demo, I could arc it over to where I could hit them even where they couldn't be seen, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful map.
Is there a chance it was upward?
Maybe
that has a tower at the final point. I really like that one.
It was Badwater Basin. Looking at these pictures, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Badwater Basin. Yep. It's Badwater Basin. Yep.
Okay. So Basin was. It's such a good map.
Yeah. I did like that.
No, Basin was so good, and the map designs were great. I love them. My favorite map. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to it here. Because it out of nowhere got an update. Yes, Steel. CP Steel.
That's a good one, too.
Steel is a close second for me.
And it's one of the most hated and least played maps in all of TF2.
And it
it's so unique, though.
It's so great.
The problem is new players have no clue what's going on. and there's nothing else like it, so you try to explain it to them, and it's just confusing.
The whole, like, you're always in danger of losing, but it's harder for them to pull that off the sooner it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool concept, but yeah, I could see a lot of people have trouble with it.
The thing is, it's actually not technically an official map. It's actually a community-made map.
I'm looking at this like, what in the world? Oh, they updated it. Oh.
Yeah, so
wow.
it's actually a community-made map that Valve...
right, I remember it being an ascended map, so to speak.
Yeah, and so they updated it, and the original creator did, which in this video the guy talks about it, 'cause at first he thought Valve did it, but it's the creator. And it's more about getting rid of some of the pain points of it. That, like, because sometimes you would just run into brick walls. And so it removed some of the cheesier stuff from it and opened up some areas so that it's harder to just spawn camp people and stuff. But I love this map because it's such a unique concept of the point of the map is to capture control point E. But control point E has no way to walk to it. So the only people who can get there are soldiers, demo men, and scouts.
Scout, yeah.
And you're on just a tiny little point and very exposed. So if you want to go straight for E, you have to have the team kind of go all in with you. Or you could go for control points A or B, and every time you capture one, it closes certain things for the defending team and opens up things for the offensive team.
Raises catwalks.
Yeah, and so at no point can you abandon defending point E, but at the same time, you can't just focus on defending E, because otherwise it's going to get too easy for the offensive team to take the point. And I love Steel. This is also where I discovered the Pony fan base, because one of my favorite servers was a Brony server, because they actually would play CP Steel on it. And I'm just like, look, I don't care what you guys are into. You play Steel. I'm in. And it was hilarious because the way that you voted for maps on that server was someone had made a map of whatever it's called. Pony place.
Equestria?
Yes, Equestria, thank you. Yeah, Ponyville. And they had like boxes that you would have to damage, and boxes can't take damage if only one person is attacking it. And so they had little pictures of all the maps, and the one that blew me away, because I would always like Steel, come on, like, and I could almost always like rally people to Steel if they hadn't played it in a while. Let's see. But this is where I learned just how many freaking maps that people had custom made, and one of them blew me away. Someone had made a Mega Man 6 map, which this isn't the Mega Man 6 map, but it uses similar concepts. I'm looking to see if someone on YouTube has a thing of it.
I thought I saw like a GoldenEye thing.
Wait, maybe it's this?
I think the video said Mega Man 2 on this one.
No, sorry, I'm looking at a different screen. Anyway, because Mega Man 6 is my favorite Mega Man. And so when I saw that someone had made a map for Mega Man 6, it was cool because they were it was a CP map that had 8 different mini maps that all themed around each robot master. And they changed what all the health packs were. And I couldn't believe it that someone had chosen, of all the Mega Man, they chose my Mega Man, the one I liked. And that's the bigger thing about the community, is just how freaking creative the TF2 community was.
I remember there was one where you played in in a giant's toy room or something like that. I like that one. I think it was CP Mouse.
Yes, I do remember it now.
Like there were like large blocks, and like there was a space where you're jumping up like books and stuff.
Wait a minute, wasn't that based off of an old I want to say Counter-Strike or Unreal Tournament map.
Well,
that may
and there
have
were a
been-
lot of
Oh.
those. Like I'll never forget CP Orange.
Because like,
Oh, what was that one? That sounds familiar.
It was a
mouse
big,
sounds
wide open thing,
so
but it was based on an old, I think it was a Counter-Strike map, might have been a Quake map, but it was just orange. Like it was all orange, and it was designed specifically for people to just go around and shoot. Like it was a sniper's delight just because of how wide open it was.
Oh gosh, yeah, I played it a couple of times.
And I just remember that it was because it was very basic, but it was, and I found out there's a whole series of orange maps, and the whole point was to be wide open and easy to see everyone's like outline, because it's like there to test your skill and not have any shenanigans going on. Whereas I loved shenanigans. I played Spy and Engineer as my two most played classes, so.
If you want a shenanigans story, Loonstar and I have a pretty good one.
Okay.
Wait, I loved partly on this game the fact you can choose which team you're on. So you could choose to be with your friends, you could choose to be opposite teams. Steam's also great, you can change your name at any time. We decided to troll a little bit. I went on one team as medic, and I had changed my name to colorblind. Loonstar, on the other hand, went as spy on the opposite team. And so we would play for a bit till I had my Uber up. Then we'd meet in whatever map it was. There was like an underground tunnel. So we'd meet there. I would Uber him and we'd run out, and obviously he'd go and start killing my team. And my teammates are like, what is happening? What are you doing? And then they would see my name, and you could tell they all got a good laugh out of that. Because TF2 players are cool like that. They can deal with a little bit of trolling and fun. So, yeah, Ubering the enemy spy on purpose multiple times.
Speaking of trolling, this video was famous. The FYI, I'm a spy.
Oh man.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The sprays, yes.
It's so simple. FYI, I'm a spy. And it became an ascended meme because that ended up becoming an achievement.
But man, goodness, that was one thing I loved about TF2 is no one
got the
took
Team
it too
Roomba video
seriously. People would play for fun, you know, and like you wouldn't get too mad at trolling. You wouldn't be too upset whether you win or lose. Like that was why I didn't like playing Overwatch as much as TF2, because like people were way
Overwatch got too serious.
It got way too serious. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the design choices were trying to make it that way too.
Yeah, they wanted it to be a competitive sport. That's
They wanted it to be esports.
This is the
yeah.
game. This is the game that basically created the hero shooter. And I just, as much as I've enjoyed other hero shooters, I played Overwatch, I play over Marvel Rivals. Nothing has been able to do the community of TF2, and partially I think that's because of how much they just encouraged the fan community. It was early videos like these Team Roomba videos that popularized the game, because it was absolutely rewarding people for being creative.
Well, and I also feel like the fact that, usually team sizes in TF2 were like 12 people.
I was going to say, team size is a huge factor in this.
It's a huge factor, because now it's like, if you're not good at your class in a game where there's only 5 or 6 players, like, you will get your team, like,
it's like you're dragging
yelling at you.
Oh my gosh, switch.
Whereas in Team TF2, it's like, unless there's like 3 spies, no one can
You're
play.
just like, can we have like one less sniper, like that's, but like, otherwise, whatever.
No,
Like,
sniper
play
number
spy.
4 is going to get this thing on lockdown, okay?
But like if you want to, but like if you want to play spy, you want to play sniper. As long as there isn't like a bunch already on your team, no one's gonna care. And like if you're bad at your job and what you do, they don't care, because
you won't single-handedly lose the game.
Yeah, and that's the problem with these smaller team sizes. So I think it's a big deal that it had bigger team sizes, and I think it makes it a much more fun game, and by a long shot.
And there was like no cap on team size either. Like there was a server cap.
Yeah, it's just whatever the server set it to.
And you could have uneven teams, I think, on some servers, but for the most part, it tried to keep them even.
Yeah, they did have an auto balance, which could sometimes be very annoying.
So you often just switch teams whenever you wanted to.
Yeah.
That
was
also
cool.
kind of made it a little less, over the top competitive.
Well, and it's one of the reasons we got so into the game was because of the server. Now, Gordon, how did you find the agents?
Boy, I really think I just stumbled. I was looking for a fun, consistently good group of people, a good server to play on, because they had they had a lot of, like Valve servers that were just like basic or whatever, but like I did like a place where people tended to use voice chat a little more, so you actually were like, coordinating somewhat, talking trash a little bit. And the agents seemed to be just kind of like the right balance between, like willing to work together, but not like super sweaty, and getting like triggered if you weren't amazing, perfect, what have you. It was a good balance, and it was consistently a good time when I was on the server. That's basically why I signed up. Yeah,
and so you joined up, and you encouraged me and Tim Enchanter to sign up as well. And it was one of those things. I was shocked at the coordination, like how devoted to community the agents were.
Yeah, they had a TeamSpeak server, which was really nice.
Yeah, no, it was
for you kiddies. It was like a predecessor to Discord.
Yeah, and the thing that I loved about the agents is they were a clan, the secret agent clan, which leans into the song, but I loved how they recruited and the ranking system where they used the 00. I mean, I still rock with my old agent tags.
Oh yeah, I mean, me too.
Yeah, I'm not giving those up. It was a ton of fun. But the thing that was best about the server was
game nights?
Yeah, game nights where we would
Game nights were so good.
The game nights were great. But even without the game nights, what was great was there were server regulars. And you would get to know people, even if they never talked. Legends would be built around them. I remember there was one soldier I despised so much, Ed frickin' Gruberman. Ed Gruberman was the bane of my existence.
I remember.
He needs a boot to the head. My goodness.
Yeah, I could not, like, I can't play soldier, and they're also the class I probably struggled the most with killing. So it's a double-edged sword for me. But Ed Gruberman was a really good soldier, and he drove me insane. And I remember him to this day. The other one was Ghost, the spy.
Ghosts.
Oh man,
he really was a ghost. My word.
Oh yeah, dude. I actually got to play a bit with him because I added him to my friends list and he accepted. And we got to play a bit together. That was cool.
Is he still on your friend list?
I think he's since removed me, but it was good for a time.
No, the regulars. The other thing was the Don Fuegos clan. I remember. They all played Spy. They were all really good at Spy, which meant everyone on the agent server was really good at spy detection.
Oh yeah. Oh,
to the point when when the clan server finally was ended, when I went to regular servers and I started playing Spy, it was like that scene in Naruto where Rock Lee drops the weights. I didn't realize how bad everyone else was.
I was holding myself back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well,
speaking of spy detection, I swear we got to a point as NG, like this internal counter of like, okay, they should be respawned by now. I need the pyro to come check and do a sweep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about other servers. What was even crazier is I once went to a friend of ours' house and he was playing TF2 on the Xbox 360.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. It was like watching kids in a kiddie pool. It was
weird. It's weird.
It's crazy.
The console version because they didn't get the updates.
And they couldn't, like, swivel, pivot, turn around quick. So it's like if a spy was behind them, it would be like so, like, turning the Titanic to, like, try and turn and face the spy. It's like, oh, my goodness. It was bad.
Like, TF2 Spy can be bad enough with its hit detection, but that's due to how I watched a video that went into how TF2 does its hit detection.
It's cool though.
How
It's really
the
cool.
face stab is possible.
Yeah, because instead of it being on the client side or on the receiver side, it's in the middle. There's a middle ground. It tries to average what you see with what everyone else is seeing, which is why you'll get headshots. You're like, there's no way, and you have to learn to play with the lag. And it's just one of those things that you get a feel for it.
Yeah. Though I know for me, oh goodness, Mark Wahlberg, the sniper, that was the one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Heath Schuler was the sniper that I remember because I hated him because he was kind of a tool. He was really good though, but he was so good to this day. I swear he was using an aimbot, and because you get to a certain point on the agent server where you can start spectating people, and I would spectate them, and it's like, you are right on the edge, man. You are right on the edge of, I think you're a bot, but I can't prove it.
And this kind of leads me to one of the features of the game that I think is just so fun is the dominating mechanic.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, that got so frustrating.
I know you get triggered.
I would get so triggered if someone dominated me. I would make it my life's mission in that round to go get revenge.
That's why, with Mark Wahlberg, he'd often dominate me, and so I'd go spy, so I could go put a knife in his back, and then go back to whatever class I wanted to play.
But that's why it's brilliant.
But the catharsis of getting that revenge kill.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
No,
was it 3 unanswered kills? Is that what leads to a domination?
Yeah, that's what leads to domination, and that's the thing that is, or assist. It can be both.
Yeah, because a medic can do it.
It's what's brilliant about it, because it's actually a very subtle way to encourage people to switch classes.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting dominated, there's a chance you have class imbalance. And so if you have the proverbial, there's 3 spies or 6 snipers
or a general strategy shift,
Yeah. It forces you to, because it's like, da 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 da. You're just like, no,
not again.
I have to end this. But it also leads to, because it's just this weird, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, they've killed you 3 times in a row, but it has that logo and you hate them for it. Because and so I'll never forget.
It shows up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
And when it's your friend that does it, splice.
Start straight. No, I'll never forget one time we were getting destroyed. Oh, it's not Dust Bowl. I don't think it was Dust Bowl, but it was another one of those.
Attack defense.
Yeah, attack defense, and it changes locations. I need to.
There was a bad water, I think.
It could have been bad water. All I know is we lost, and so it's the punishment round where they come in. And I had...
oh, I forgot that they had the punishment round.
Yeah, the punishment round. And so I hung around a corner as a pyro and did the Hadoken. And I timed it just perfectly that Otto came... Agent Otto, good friend, came around the corner, and I got him with the Hadoken. And all of a sudden, da-da-da-da-da! I had dominated him with a kill in the punishment round. And Otto just, no! Just screams and shouts.
Wait, I'm trying to think, could you still taunt after losing?
Yes, that's the only thing you can
only
do.
You can do. You can run, you can jump,
and you can taunt.
And you can taunt.
That's all you can do. And I dominated him as a loser in the thing.
That's so awesome.
Oh, it felt so good. That was part of the whole... Man, I wonder if I still have them somewhere. The agent server had a client-side stat sheet. Oops, that's going the wrong place.
Oh, that's right. You liked compiling that.
Yeah,
stuff.
and so I compiled the stats, and I was doing all this stuff. But we also had the old agent server, and I made fake...
The website.
I made fake achievements based around people. And
I remember those. I forgot about that.
I gotta see if I can find them. I bet they're somewhere on this computer.
You would post updates weekly, I think, even.
Yeah, weekly. And so I had the stats somewhere. But but in my signature I had the fake achievements, and so like there was I think it was automatic, which domination, where it's like get dominated in the punishment round as the winning team, and deboss and debasin, it's like waste like a certain number of hours of people's time as a scout in the basin. Distracted kitty, which was demon cats, which was you have to get taunt killed as a sniper because you never turn around or something. Because demon cat would get so into sniping, you could do it.
I like to believe I did not have that problem.
Hey, breakfast, how's it going?
In fact, I would frustrate Splice because I would hear him decloak.
You would,
and he got so mad.
You had a sixth sense for it. I swear you could hear me decloak through the walls because I would be nowhere close, and all of a sudden he'd be turned around. I'm like, I am one room over in both the game and in real life. How?
I had a very good pair of headphones.
Yeah, I don't know. But breakfast, a couple questions we asked at the beginning. How did you get introduced to TF2?
I resisted the game because
you were such a hype-averting person like us.
I resisted Steam. I did not want to install Steam because I did not want to give up my physical media. As a result, when I did finally give in to TF2, I bought a box copy of it. Mm-hmm. Not the orange box.
Just TF2.
Just TF2.
I didn't even know they sold that.
Yeah, they did. Not most people didn't buy it that way.
Here's the thing.
That's a collector's item now.
It cost me just as much as the orange box, but because I wasn't really interested in the games on the orange box, I didn't buy the orange box, which was sitting right next to it on the shelf. I just bought TF2 because it was the only game I wanted, because I didn't believe in buying things that I wasn't going to play, despite the fact that it cost me the same amount of money. Now, the irony in all that is I do now own every game that came on the orange box, so, I just wasted my money. But here's the thing. The disc that the game came with, there was no TF2 on it. TF2 did not exist on that disc.
That's right.
It was a Steam downloader. It was just a Steam downloader and a key. Yeah. And all the disc did was have me install Steam, and that's how they got me into Steam.
Clever girl.
But I still have that box and that disc. And
that is definitely a collector's item.
And I came in a year and a half or so later after everyone else, because at the time I think I was rooming with you guys, and you were just like, you need to play TF2, you need to play TF2, and I gave in to peer pressure.
Did you? Oh, wow, you didn't start playing until then. Man.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing with breakfast in TF2 is the Gorman ritual.
Ah, yes, Gorman.
Explain.
All right, so Agent Gorman, on the surface, he wasn't very remarkable, but at the same time, neither was I. So we developed a kind of rivalry with each other. I don't even remember what class he played predominantly, but every time he or I would kill each other...
Soldier a lot.
He did play Soldier a lot, but every time he or I would kill each other, we would since we were on TeamSpeak, and even if we were on the opposite teams who were still in the same channel, we would just casually and calmly say each other's name.
Oh.
So randomly, I get a kill, I look at the feed, oh, Gorman. And then he would respond, breakfast. it just became our little ritual.
That was the great thing about the Agent server, was there were so many little in-jokes. And like one of my favorite was our guild leader, Al Smooth, was famous.
I was hoping you'd bring up Al Smooth.
He was famous for his engineer.
Ninjineer.
Ninjineer. I don't know how.
Teamwork is cheating. That's another line I loved from him.
Yes, teamwork is cheating. And
I thought it was teamwork is OP. Right.
Both are correct. But he was really good when he was on offense or defense of letting the enemy overextend and getting a teleporter behind them somehow. And you would suddenly have these issues of guys just coming and just getting you in the flank, and you're just like, and then you just realize Al Smooth is on the other team.
Al Smooth has put a teleporter behind our spawn.
He has engineered it, and it got to the point where I had a little like you talked about having the internal clocks. I would have this internal clock of I haven't seen Al Smooth's name in a while, and to which I would just yell shenanigans. There's shenanigans, and then I loved it because I'd always say it in both.
His nest.
and I just remember a couple times where I said shenanigans, and Smooth would be like, no shenanigans, no shenanigans. Like it's like, there's definitely shenanigans behind Smooth.
Steel, he was notorious for Steel because he would put those teleporters everywhere you were not expecting him to go. And then suddenly you have the entire enemy team pouring from a direction that they were not supposed to have been able to get to yet.
Nope. No, but the agents had traditions going back from before, because they're a long time guild. Like they were playing Tribes 2 way back in the day. And I just remember when the Demo Man update came, the soldiers in demo, and suddenly demo night was a thing. And I just remember I'm playing on the server, and all of a sudden I hear Smooth say in chat, "Hey, Demon Cat King, Raptor Squad?" They're like, "Ooh, yeah, Raptor Squad. Let's do Raptor Squad." And I'm over here. What's Raptor Squad? You find out. And I'm like, that's ominous. Like, because I was on the other team, and so I'm playing on offense. I think it was on Dust Bowl again, and I see Al just out in the middle of nowhere as an engineer. And I'm thinking, oh crap, he's setting something up. And I go to attack him, and I think I was a pyro at the time or something like that. And I go to attack him, and all of a sudden, 2 demo men charge in from the sides and decapitate me. And all of a sudden, I'm like, why? They're Raptor Squad! Like, they're just yelling at me. Why Raptor Squad? They're like, you watch Jurassic Park, right? And suddenly it clicks. And it's like, yes, the Raptors at Jurassic Park coming from both sides. And I'm suddenly,
clever girl.
Yeah, and you're suddenly indoctrinated into a long time tradition. And so now I can, when they say Raptor Squad, know what it is that's being planned.
Oh my goodness, I remember so many times, like game nights, where Smooth would be involved, and he would just, he was so charismatic. He could get randos to join in on whatever scheme, whatever. Like, and I loved it when he did the single class rushes. Oh my
yes.
gosh. Yeah. Suddenly you had like 11 soldiers or 11 heavies or whatever.
Well, because the thing is that it's interesting because overstacking is usually a problem. Unless sometimes the other team isn't ready for just suddenly a bunch of soldiers.
They're not teamwork as well,
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing that Al would do that I thought was brilliant, and I started stealing it from him when I started going to pub servers. If you're in the offense, because it's way more important for the offense to be coordinated than the defense.
Oh yeah,
and
especially with the team size, yeah.
And so
you got at the very least time an Uber charge or something.
Al would do this stretching routine with everyone, where it'd be before the match. All right, everyone, it's important. We got to do our stretches. Everyone, get your lunges in, and so everyone would be crouching. It's like, all right, jump. Let's get those legs lifted up. All right, do a little bit of calisthenics. Everyone, jog in a circle. All right, and just get everyone on the same page. Because it gets camaraderie going. It also gets them to acknowledge you as the leader. And so they're more likely to listen to your plans. And then suddenly you're all moving as one, and you're just a wrecking ball that just plows through. It's awesome. It's brilliant.
Once you get momentum going, it can be incredibly difficult.
Be a snowball.
Well, and then,
which is why they had to break up a lot of maps into 3 chunks to prevent just an absolute snowball.
Steamroll, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing I really liked about the agent server is they were really good at rallying if snowballs were happening because there was this understanding if you're an agent, your duty is to the server, not to your team. And so if a team's getting steamrolled, people start leaving.
kills the server.
Yeah, and so people would leave the steamrolling team to go to the defensive team or the offensive team if they just can't get out of the base. And it was just a very good server.
And then sometimes you got auto-balanced.
Yes.
Because auto-balance was always on.
You know, what's awesome is that it was like this from the very beginning, and then Valve started doing the updates that changed up the gameplay. And I'll never forget when they introduced hats, a whole new dimension was opened up.
Economy.
The haberdashery simulator with guns as a side quest.
Yes, exactly. Well, the best was, okay, you have to understand the agent clan. Agent Athena is the best heavy I've ever seen. And she had
and
this,
the giggliest.
Yes, a very apologetic heavy. She'd murder you and apologize, and then I'd accuse her of being a liar.
I've got a story for her, but I'll save it for another time.
Well, so she bought a what was the hat she had that had the heart spinning around it?
Oh, I think I know the one. I can't remember what it's called.
TF2 heavy hats. I
Man.
can't remember, but she got
I think
it.
it was
I'm sad I never got the fedora.
I think it may have been an
makes me
effect,
sad.
actually, not just like
well, the
Yeah,
hearts
no.
was an effect, but
Yeah.
the hat was still a specific hat.
Yeah, I'm just
I
looking
can't
through
remember what
seeing
the
if I
hat
can
would have
remember
been.
what the hat was. But the point was,
wasn't it an Oshanka?
I don't think it was the Ushanka, but it had the spinning hearts unusual effect. I can't remember what that was called, but she had it, and so she is known as the best heavy. And you see that, you're just like, oh crap, it's Athena, and you would run. And then, like, just by the hat, because you knew she was good, she would be able to intimidate people out of doing it. Which Otto then, seeing this, went on the marketplace and found that hat with that exact unusual effect and paid actual money to get it.
Just so that people would think it was Athena.
Yeah, just so people would think it worked. It 100% worked, because I would go spy and just to like, oh crap, this Athena's wrecking us, and then I'd backstab and it'd say, Agent Otto, you're not Athena. Like, all this, it would work every single time. It was brilliant. I laughed that he dedicated himself to that. You know what? I think I'm friends with Athena on Discord. I'm gonna ask. Anyway, what was your heavy hat with the hearts going around it? We're discussing it on my podcast. Anyway, and so just playing on the same server, it allowed for things that you would never get otherwise. No, the hats were just a game changer. And, you know, the new weapons were a game changer because it allowed you to do things that you couldn't do before. I remember the engineer update being a big one for me.
The weapons were my jam. I didn't care about the hats. I didn't give a flying. However,
the hats are purely cosmetic.
I still do have one hat that I appreciate because it was, in fact, the hat that Petrivka gifted to me one year for, was it Christmas or my birthday? I don't remember.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I forget which one. What was it?
You got me the team captain.
That's a big one.
Our lawyers say yes. It was a total riff on the Street Fighter cartoon. Well, because the hat looks exactly like M. Bison's hat from Street Fighter.
Oh, man.
And the thing is, that's actually the most expensive hat out there now.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't ridiculous. It was maybe $20-ish or whatever. You know?
Yeah, no. Unusual, the burning team captain is like, it costs like $1,000 or something to get it now.
Yeah, mine has no visual effects on it, but it's the one hat that was gifted to me, so I hold it in high regard. Although there was one thing that did finally happen the last time I played TF2. I don't play it very often anymore, but I did jump in to play with my sister and her husband for a few games, and someone on the server actually said, "There is no way you have that many vintage weapons."
I forgot that they had the tags.
I know, like they had the vintage tags. So a lot of people are like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "I've had this game since it came out."
2007.
No, you haven't. No way. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Before
no
you were
way.
born, probably.
Yep. No, the name tags. The fact that they added name tags as an item so you could
I
name
started
your
renaming
weapons.
all my weapons after Mega Man weapons.
Everyone had a gimmick. All mine were named after various statistical things, like my minigun was called the Law of Large Numbers. My the shotgun was the Scatter Plot. My knife as a spy was the Random Sample.
See, my spy knife, I used I didn't play spy until the very end of my TF2 career, where I settled into an eternal reward spy.
Is that the one
that is rough.
Folks used to have?
Yeah, but you can't disguise, so you have to get that first stab. So it
Yeah.
cloaks their body, and then you immediately disguise as the person you stabbed, and they don't make a sound.
Yeah, if you can do it, it is so good. But that
And
first kill is so hard.
I named my knife the Shadow Blade.
Nice.
And then my rocket launcher was the Crash Bomb.
No, it's brilliant gimmick. It's such a brilliant gimmick.
If I'm honest,
the loot boxes, the literal loot boxes.
Yep.
thing
Not
is-
my
is-
favorite thing about TF2.
No.
yeah. Well, that and at first I was liking the updates and getting the extra weapons and how it kind of changed up gameplay, but
The weapons
after a
were
while,
unlockable, right? Like you didn't
after
have
a
to.
while, there was just so many to
Yeah,
keep up
there-
with, and it
there were a
got
ton.
too much that it actually kind of killed the gameplay of it. So it's like I liked it at first, but then it just got too far.
I
And
loved
I
it the
wouldn't
entire
mind going
time.
back.
Okay,
I wouldn't mind going
favorite
back to
weapon
vanilla.
combinations. Favorite loadouts.
Frontier Justice with the Mini Sentry.
Though that said, I do
Battle
love,
Engineer.
Yep.
I do love the Dead Ringer and the Ambassador. I do. And the Blue Zauger is superior in every way to
Bootlegger is
the.
definitely better. I love the Crits Krieg, man.
Terrible Barbecue finally. Pyro was about my midpoint. I didn't start playing Pyro until about my midpoint of game time, and Barbecue was the one that inspired me to start playing Pyro.
Yes.
And he showed me the glory that was the degreaser, extinguisher, and flare gun. With the puff, sting, and swipe.
Okay.
You puff them with the flamethrower, set them on fire, air blast them back, pull out your flare gun, pop them while they're falling through the air, and then pull out your extinguisher and finish with the kill.
Okay. We can't bring up Barbecue just casually.
Which you can't do that anymore because they've nerfed the weapons since
Yeah.
then.
Well, it was just too. Like, it was just a better weapon. Like, there was no choice involved. It was just better. But
yes, the terrible Barbecue.
the terrible Barbecue 006 or whatever he was.
Doctor.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. First of all, the fact that he kept the in his name. So it's Agent the. Then he started his PhD program, and then he got his PhD and he changed his name to Agent Dr. the Terrible Barbecue 006 PhD. His name just kept getting longer. He is by far the best FPS player I think I've ever known well. He was so stupid good. So I kept the stats.
He was definitely a jack of all trades. He was dangerous no matter what class he
could play
played.
anything.
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, this is the man who, because I kept track of the stats, and so I could see what everyone was playing. He would never play Scout. And I asked him, why don't you play Scout? And his response was, because it wouldn't be fair if I played Scout. To which I'm just like, bullcrap! You can't just say that. I have to see it. And he refused to play Scout. I'm just like, no! I want to see what this man is talking about. But he was so good. He was the only good Pyro. Pyro was something that until the Pyro update was viewed as sort of, why are you even bothering playing this? It was basically only there to spy check.
Yeah.
And
I like to believe I became a pretty good Pyro when I settled into the class.
Well, so but the thing was, I kept track of stats, and the system I created
WM1
used a standard deviation model. So every number above the next one was even more impressive. I had to remove barbecue from the stats of Pyro because if I left him in, no one else was positive as a Pyro. He literally skewed it that far.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I then removed him from the sample, but he still gets a number, and he was 6 standard deviations away from everyone else.
Holy cow.
No, it was ridiculous, which with his name being the Terrible Barbecue made it even better. But one of my personal favorites was one game I'm playing a couple different things, but I settle into Spy. Barbecue's on the other team, and Barbecue's, I don't know, he's like playing medic or something, I don't know. And I haven't really interacted with him much because this is over 3 maps. And then I get a backstab on him, and all of a sudden, da-da-da-da-da, and it's, you are now dominating Agent the Terrible Barbecue. And I'm playing Spy, and Barbecue just says in team chat, I see that you want me to play Pyro. I'm like, no, I didn't say that. You are misreading the situation. He's like, I think I'm reading the situation just exactly correct. And I just immediately go back to the base and switch off of Spy because I just think I won't be having a good time. And I just tell everyone, sorry, don't play Spy. He switched to Pyro. It's over. It's over for us.
The party is over, fellas.
And watching Barbecue and Ghost dance was something to behold.
That was the other thing about Ghost. Ghost never talked. He was a perfect ghost.
He was a ghost. He was a ghost.
I always made jokes about how every agent had ghost stories to tell. And then the Dead Ringer came out, and he stopped being a spy, and he became this undefeatable frontline soldier. It was so freaking annoying. No, because he would just sit here and first of all, I don't know how anyone could, because he'd use the ambassador, which gets the bonus shots on headshots. And
that's a big one. When I became his friend, he actually did train me a bit on the ambassador and dead ringing. It was glorious.
Yeah. It's just, he was just so stupid good at aiming with the ambassador, and you could never kill him. And you're just like, how? Why can't I kill you? I hate the Dead Ringer to this day for that reason. But I love the concept of it because it's just the way it actually gets used isn't as a, oh, I tricked you into thinking I'm dead. It's, I'm using this as a get out of jail free card.
Yeah. No, I did not like the Dead Ringer because not only did you not know if they were dead, they were immune to fire for a few seconds, and they were incredibly difficult to kill, even if you did manage to keep track of them.
Yeah.
Oh, right, they had the damage reduction.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. No, the other thing, but like they had what's the one, I forget, that it won't recharge, like it has infinite cloak, but it goes down if you're moving.
That's
the Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of those, like, it was a situational thing for me. I would use it at the start of certain maps to get somewhere as a spy without them seeing that you normally wouldn't be able to.
I had to rely on the Cloak and Dagger when I used my Eternal Reward because it was the only way I was able to get anywhere around the map.
That makes sense.
Well, like, it was... In theory, I'm like, wow, this sounds amazing, but it's such a slow pace, though, if you're going to do that. And you have to make every life count because of how slow it is if you're using it.
Yeah, and which is why I'd only use it at the start of maps on defense to get somewhere where normally they'd be able to see you. But you can just sit there and, as long as you slow walked it, just cloak your way. No, it's brilliant, the design of these weapons and how it changed the gameplay. Another, like the Demo Knight, it's like they might as well have added a new class to the game.
Oh yeah, it changed the way you played the demo entirely. It wasn't even remotely close anymore. As someone who, mained demo a lot, it was. I mean, it was fun to play demo night, but it was absolutely a different class entirely.
It led to some of the best game nights, though.
I would play a hybrid demo. When I played demo, I would play with the huntsman headless, the horseless headless huntsman's head taker, and the lock and load. I loved the lock and load. It was my favorite
That's
grenade
the direct
launcher.
damage one, right?
Yes, if you missed, you did no damage. But
direct hits were like.
But if you hit them, you did increased damage and a much bigger.
And it was like, I'm trying to remember, the lock and load.
That bigger knockback?
No, it had a bigger blast radius.
Normal pipe bomb, or was it a sticky?
It was a pipe bomb.
Normal pipe bomb. Okay.
It's very similar to the aptly named direct hit, where it takes a class that's normally about area of effect and turns it into a precision class.
Yeah, it was great for anti-engineer because 2 pipes would destroy a level 3 sentry.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
and if you got a random crit, you could clear the entire cart with a single grenade. If they're all just piled onto the cart, you just start lobbing grenades at the cart, and if you got a random crit, they would all die because there was no escaping.
But that was the brilliance of the Pyro update, though. Giving the Pyro the reflect was
changed everything.
Because suddenly
you air blast.
Yeah, well, because
I still love the back burner personally.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was brilliant because suddenly, the way you stopped any cart was just spam soldiers and demo, and it's just you can make it so that you can never be around little cart because it's just a death trap. But suddenly, with the air blast, the Pyro can sit there and escort the cart, and it allowed counterplay that didn't exist before.
And you could puff people off the point too.
Yeah, it was actually, hey, there's now a response to Uber charges.
You could also save your teammates. If your teammates were on fire, you could put them out while they're
yes,
running to
that
get
was
a health
also very
pack.
nice.
Yeah.
Or the Girardi.
Honestly, Girardi. But yeah, no, honestly, I think that that probably was the most impactful update to any base weapon was being able to have the reflect. That changed so much gameplay in so many ways.
It finally gave Pyro a niche beyond just spy checking. And it also encouraged them, like with the back burner, like you were talking about, it encouraged you to suddenly be trickier as a Pyro. Now, when it first came out, it had issues where if you were running away from a Pyro and you ran into the flames that were coming from the front, it would trigger the crit, and it's like, okay, well that's not working as intended. But that was just that's the other thing. It had lovable jank to it. Like, not so bad that it made the game unfun, but enough where you could enjoy it. What are you playing? Breakfast.
No, that was my text notification. It was the Mega Man teleport sound.
Okay. Anyway.
Very appropriate.
Yeah. But no, the constant updates were good. The videos were great. Like, expiration date's hilarious.
Apparently that was supposed to be a test pilot for a possible show.
I wish they'd have gone through with it because it was great.
I hadn't seen it before. I haven't heard it still, but at least I saw it just now.
I know. I was watching, going, I don't remember this.
These were as beloved as any of the Overwatch shorts.
Oh yeah. Well, and then the fan community, like what we're seeing now on screen, the "Make a Man Out of You" video. The fan community was so good.
Source filmmaker, which really opened things up.
But that's what Valve did, is they involved their community. They weren't afraid to let them have the toys that make the noise. The other thing I loved was just the simple concept of these videos and letting them play with it, and the utter unhingedness of the entire TF2 universe. It just made for some great stuff.
Shakespearecles, the greatest playwright with a massive one-armed muscle who invented rocket jumping, because it was until Abraham Lincoln invented stairs, it was the only way to get to the second floor of a building.
Yes.
That is literal TF2 lore.
Yeah.
TF2 lore is insane, and I love it.
Oh my god, I forgot the little whip thing that the soldier. What was that called?
The
motivation.
Motivational crop.
The one that gave a speed boost to your teammates. Man, there's so many good little things.
It sucks at melee, but it's a good Well, then they have things like the bugle, where you get rid of your shotgun, but you can give your teammates a boost.
It all paled in comparison to my favorite melee weapon before they split it into two. The
pain train?
No, the pickaxe. What was it called? They split it into the escape plan and.
Oh. I thought one was called the pain train, but maybe
there is one called the pain train.
Isn't that the board with the nail in it?
Yeah, pain train for life.
I thought pain train was the one that did increased damage the lower your health was.
And then it also made you faster.
Equalizer.
That was it.
Equalizer.
It did more damage the lower your health was, and it made you faster. So you get low health, and then you just run around like a scout, backstabbing people like a spy. It was amazing.
That was when they had to split that. I was like, that's too much of a buff.
they split it into the equalizer and the escape plan, and the escape plan was the speed buff, and the equalizer was the damage buff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was too awesome.
Oh my gosh, I loved. There was one update where they bugged the overtime announcement.
Oh, I remember that.
It was the best. I love that bug so much.
Oh, and you know what? Goodness, you know what I loved with the sniper was the bow and arrow that he got. The huntsman, where you could pin people in the most ridiculous poses against the wall.
The ragdolls would be ridiculous.
I still have some screenshots.
I have some screenshots because I had some good ones. There was one where I caught a spy that was cloaked and it pinned his feet and hands all together with one arrow. It was pinned on all four extremities. Ow! It was hilarious.
That was always one of the best things about TF2 playing spy, where you'd be completely cloaked walking across an area and then just get killed by a random sniper that was shooting at someone else, but they're so bad at their aim that they got you instead, and so they looped around to being amazing.
Well,
sometimes it wasn't that I was bad at my aim, it was simply you were between me and what I was shooting at.
No, but
in the case of the huntsman, you're trying to catch people as they're getting around corners. So
and so you're kind of aiming in general, and you just pick the wrong time to come out, and so suddenly you're just pinned. I'll never forget one time I was walking forward, and Don Fuego was on my team, and I don't know who it was sniping, but they had the huntsman, and out of nowhere, I know he's fully cloaked, he's just pinned to the wall right in front of me, and I just hear him go, "What?" Just because there was no one there, so someone just took a stab in the dark, ironic, and got him, and I just start laughing because he's just pinned to the wall, and he's just like, "What did I do?" And it's like, "You have paid for your sins."
Now, from a sniper's perspective, there were few things as satisfying as pulling the trigger and suddenly a spy materializes and drops dead in front of you.
That was wonderful.
There are two shots in particular that will always stand out to me. One scared the crap out of me because I'm sitting, I don't even remember what map is on, but I'm sitting there sniping downrange. And I'm scoping in, and I got my target, and I pull the trigger, and the spy not only appears out of nowhere, he's 2 feet in front of me. So suddenly this spy head is filling my scope, and then he just drops dead, and it literally was a jump scare. The other one, however, I will never forget. It is probably my crowning moment of ecstasy in TF2. I don't know if you want to save that for later, Slice.
No, go ahead. Just
Okay. This is Badwater Basin, between the second and third points. You got that long trail where the track dips down underneath an overhang next to a small structure.
I love that area.
And I'm sniping, and at the far end, I'm defending. So I'm looking downrange, this long thing, and I notice in one of the side rooms towards the back, I catch a glimpse of a spy cloaking. But it's at such an angle that he would immediately have ran behind cover that I could not shoot through. But if he followed the path, there was only one way he could come out of it, unless he decided to jump over railing, which sometimes they do that, but I took a guess. This was like a 5 to 6 second gap between the point where I saw that decloak, and it was just the last few frames of the decloak animation, so I just saw him disappear.
Poof of smoke.
And I pointed my gun at where I thought he was going to be, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and now! And I pulled that trigger, and he popped into existence and dropped dead. And I will never feel as cathartic playing any video game
I bet that
as
guy
I
was
did.
so triggered.
Oh, he had to have been thinking I was hacking, because I just happened to glance in that direction and catch the barest last few moments of his cloak. And I had to have been a good 5-6 seconds after that moment before I pulled the trigger. And I just guessed it so perfectly. I could never have beaten that moment in my greatest days.
the thing that because it's one of those things that you just play TF2 and you start getting a feel for how people move.
It was like Lizzie said, as engineer, you get that sixth sense for, okay, the spy's got to be nearby, and you turn around and you just take a few swipes with your wrench and you whack a spy because you knew he was there.
No, the other thing, just because you play with the agents, you just get a feel for people's patterns and stuff.
True.
And people do settle into certain patterns and things they like to do. But what's interesting is those lessons would carry over to other servers because people fall under the same things. And one of the other things I loved about the Agent Clan was the fact that we had a claim to fame. Do you guys remember what it was?
No.
Don't be an...
No, well, there's that. Well, okay, yeah, there was Rule 2 pants optional, but no. Home of the #1 Golden Wrench.
Oh, that's right.
When they did the Golden Wrench giveaway, Agent Nessie got wrench #1.
That's right. He had the very first golden wrench that was ever
that.
given away.
It was one of those things because they posted the list of everyone, the top 100, and
I wonder if
#1
Nessie still has it, and how much he would be able to sell that for if he put it on the market today.
Let's see, Golden Wrench.
Are people still playing much TF2? Because
Yeah, well, I'm so glad.
There was an update.
Yes.
They released the source code, officially.
Yep.
Well, I know
I know they did some anti-bot stuff.
Because I think that helped. Because last time I tried
years.
to play it, it was unplayable.
It was pretty bad.
Bots.
Yeah, it had gotten pretty bad.
So I tried to play it when it was really bad, and just these aim bots on sniper and basically the community
They're staring straight up at the sky, and then
you're just
they
dead.
snap down, shoot, headshot you, and then they go straight back up to the sky. So it's like they're not even hiding the fact that they're bots.
But yeah, I know Nessie at a certain point privated his backpack because a lot of people would just bother him about it.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But we had the #1 wrench. But yeah, so it got really bad. And it got so bad that the community banded together and basically said, look, you're still trying to make money off TF2 with these loot boxes. You can't do that and not actually
fix things.
Yeah. And Valve said, okay, let's do that. And so they did fix it. But bigger is the fact that people released different versions of TF2. There's one out there called Team Fortress 2 Classic. I don't know the difference. I know Frost in chat plays it. Frost, if you could give us a little rundown.
Team Fortress 2 Classic, just the basics of it is it reverts TF2 back to its almost to its beta days.
Almost.
To where it's because it reversed its stats and the weapons back to its base game from when
Like
it
original. Oh man.
yeah, when it originally released, but it also added in some things that were seen in trailers that did not make it to the final game, like the Demo Man's Dynamite bundle, or the
so it had
Scouts,
that too.
or the
Okay.
Scouts nail
I
gun.
have that here.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. To me, having played Team Fortress Classic, I was used to the nail gun as the Scout's weapon.
Does Pyro still have Air Blast?
I don't know. I haven't actually played Team Fortress 2 Classic, but I do know that it's essentially like World of Warcraft Classic or Overwatch Classic. It's just, hey, remember when the game was first released? Here's what it was like. You remember that, don't you?
Well, so
But it's fan driven.
yeah, so the thing that's
and-
interesting is the fact, because you talk about how it's fan driven. This is at this point like 4 years ago. Basically, the people who made the mod asked for permission from Valve to be able to post the game on Steam. Valve's lawyers responded and said, don't do that. However, we have plans to make that possible,
Well,
but we need you to wait.
The reason the lawyers said that is because the mod that they were creating was based around a leaked version of the TF2 source code.
Yep.
And because the code had been leaked, the lawyer said, please don't. We're not going to allow it right now. Give it some time. And so now that they have officially released the source code, the mod is back in full swing and in full productivity.
And now if you look up Team Fortress 2 Classic on Steam, they're planning to release it on Steam this year, so that you don't need a separate launcher for it. And the bigger thing is that it'll be able to access your TF2 backpack.
Inventory? Well, I don't think everything will be available, though, will
Well,
it?
no, so that's the thing, is it's up to the mods what's available. But
And
It
make
lets-
cosmetics at least. And
yeah, it lets them use the cosmetics, which, people have a lot invested in those things.
True.
And so it lets you play with it. Or maybe you have it so the cosmetic does something different in your version. And so it's going to allow for a lot of stuff, but it's getting the game back to its roots of it's made, it's for the fans and it's by the fans. I'm very, very
Personally,
encouraged
I
by
think
it.
Valve just got tired of having to keep up with it, so they just, let's just release source code and let the community handle anything from this point on.
But the thing is, because if you're sitting there trying to,
it's going on almost 20 years now.
yeah, and on top of
Okay.
it, you have to do something with it, because if you're going to keep trying to make money off of it, you got to have some form of maintenance. But Valve isn't. One of the things Valve is about is they let their
Not number
developers
3.
work on whatever they want.
No Team Fortress 3 ever.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's
I
like-
don't care.
They
I don't
can't
want.
count to 3.
I don't want Team Fortress 3. I want Half-Life 3, but that's a different conversation.
I would take a Team Fortress 3, to be perfectly honest. But
I just don't see what they would do for it.
I don't know either. But if they did it, I would play
I'd
it.
be afraid it'd be an Overwatch 2, and you
No,
don't want that.
That would be a problem.
Yeah, but
But-
more to the
And
point.
at least
Though.
it's been more than 2 years since it came.
Yeah,
out.
but more to the point. They don't expand their team that much. Like Valve is still a relatively small company, especially compared to every other game developer. And that's on purpose. That's not an accidental thing. So if you want to start doing maintenance for TF2, they would either have to spin off a new company to be the TF2 maintenance company, or they would have to outsource it, which they said, let's just outsource it to the only people we trust, the community. And because, the community's been producing stuff for them for years. So why not outsource it to the community?
Does make me wonder if I should get back into it. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know,
it's
this
like,
is bringing up
I
memories.
don't think I have the reflexes
Yeah,
anymore.
I I got old.
My most played class was sniper, and the last few times I tried to do that, it was just disastrous.
See, I'm lucky. My two best classes are engineer and spy, and those lessons have never gone away.
Well, yeah, my best class is medic, and I think that one's more about knowing when to push and when to bail. You know,
Medic is evergreen.
Medic is evergreen, and a lot of people are not good at medic.
Yeah, it's frustrating. People was just like, it does take a bit of skill, but some people don't bother to learn.
It's all about knowing, when what battles to pick.
When to know when the person that you're holding, when to fold.
Yeah, when to hold, when to fold.
Who to heal.
Who to trust.
Yeah.
Who to trust, honestly. Like yeah, you can heal lots of people, but you gotta make sure that they have your back.
That's half the reason Otto bought that hat, because everyone trusted Athena. So it gets you a pocket medic, and as a heavy, you kind of need it.
Well, that and also some heavies are just they want you to be no, you're not allowed to heal anyone else. It's just me, and then the medic would overextend and get them both killed. And as a medic, you have to identify, okay, this heavy's a problem. He thinks he's invincible. He's going to get himself killed. He's going to get me killed.
Pirate, do you remember the healthcare guy?
The what healthcare?
Okay, so I'll never forget one time we're on offense and there's only one medic and it's some rando that I've never seen before. And the other team had a bunch of pyros and we're all on fire. And so everyone's yelling, medic, medic, medic. They're just yelling it. And we don't get political here, but this is the height of, I think, Obamacare getting signed into legislation. And everyone's yelling medic. And finally someone just dies because too many people are on fire. And this guy, he was trying to heal everyone, but there's only one medic. And he just goes... Because someone's just like, what the crap, dude? He's like, this is what you get with rationed healthcare.
Yes, that happened. I thought that was a video. That did happen.
No, that happened to us. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who this guy is, but he's hilarious. But the thing was, it also got someone else to jump in and play medic because there's too many pyros. That's the thing about pyro. Pyro necessitates the need for more medics.
Oh, but man, there's nothing satisfying as being able to save 3 people with one Uber from certain death.
Yeah, switching
wonderful.
Well, and that's the other thing is just because it created very interesting relationships between various classes.
I love the tag team crits and Uber. If you can do the Kruber.
Yeah, if you can do it.
Crits with the crits creek with another Uber charge, and that was just
Well, because it's interesting because you have the natural relationship between the medic and the heavy, because they go together like peanut butter and jelly. But you also had the antagonistic ones, like the natural opponent of a sniper is a spy. The natural opponent of a spy is the pyro. But the pyro also can cause problems for medics, the Uber, and then you air blast them away from their target.
Yeah, you split them up.
It's that asymmetric play. What's it called? Kind of that whole rock paper scissors thing. It's wonderful.
Because you have the whole thing snipers there to they hate spies, but at the same time, they once they invented the flare gun, suddenly pyros are a problem for snipers as well. Because if a pyro can land that stupid flare gun, suddenly you're like, ugh, I have to put this thing out, and it delays.
Throw a Girardi at yourself, yeah.
Well, and even it's not going to kill you most likely, but the damage makes your gun move, so you can't aim well either. And
and it makes you have knockback.
Yeah, and so if you use the Girardi to put yourself out, well, suddenly the sniper's best anti-spy tool has been used up, and so suddenly the pyro is opening up gameplay for the spy, because that's the issue. It's like if you have 3 spies, you have a problem because everyone's now spy checking because there's too many spies. You need one spy. There needs to be the threat. That's the thing. The threat of the spy is more important than the spy itself.
True. Very true.
And if you can force people, because if you can force them to respect that they need to spy check, they're turning around, which opens things up for the snipers and the demos and everyone else.
Pyro stopped so many wins at the final point of Gold Rush because you had to get the Uber across that bridge in order to make a difference.
Bridge.
And the Pyro would just, if there was a Pyro there and that Uber started crossing that bridge, you didn't have to get them both. You just had to get one of them.
Well, and that's the thing.
That ended it right there.
But that's the thing. That little basin.
Such a great feeling, though, when you're a Pyro and you push off an Uber pair into a cliff. Oh, so wonderful.
That little basin, because it was really hard to assault through that little basin. But if you don't, as the offense, try to control that basin, the Pyros and the demos and stuff could control that bridge. And so, again, it creates cool little things with each map.
And you get demos down below lobbing grenades up into your NG nests.
Yep.
Oh, I love doing that so much.
Because your nests are set up to cover the bridge. And if you moved it to where you tried to get below, well, you'd usually expose it in such a way that someone would be able to shoot it that the sentry couldn't respond. And so, geez.
And it's just a very well designed game. And it's one of those things, I don't think even Valve understood how well designed the game was at the start. And then the players got a hold of it. And we found out this thing is gold. And it's just one
rush.
Yeah, well, they're very true. But it's one of those things that I look at it, I don't know if a game like this could ever come out again. Just because it came out at the perfect time at like the start of YouTube becoming a thing. And so community made content was this brand new thing. I hadn't really seen it too much before.
That's right. They would have competitions for videos, actually.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, this game kind of birthed Machinima. Yeah, Machinima.
Well, they didn't birth it. Like Red versus Blue and
fair enough.
Both preceded.
But that wasn't. They didn't create
but
tools for it.
They promoted it, though.
Yeah, but the release of the tools, the Source Filmmaker, changed the game.
Well, and that's the other thing, was the fact that they started off with just this understanding of the community is our friend. It's not an antagonistic relationship. The community will promote it for free if we let them. So give them the tools and they do it. And Valve is really good about that. They just do a very good job of making sure that the community has what it needs to get free advertising, which, given how small they are, they don't really have much of a marketing department. They let the fans do it. It's brilliant.
Just put something good out there and people will gravitate towards it.
It also helps when you invent Steam and you have an infinite money glitch.
Passive income for life.
And the ability to put your games at the forefront when you need to.
Yeah. But that's actually also the brilliance of it, because we discussed this a while ago, the Half-Life 2 documentary. And so they pushed it, and boy, are they reaping the rewards.
Piracy is a distribution problem. Gabe M.
Oh, yeah. We bow out. We weren't able to beat Steam, and everyone goes, I'm sorry,
what you were playing?
Was there a game going on? I don't understand.
It's like, I know when
it was the entire reason they bought Twitch.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't know that.
Well, it's like, I knew that Epic tried to take over it with their store, but
they're the closest that anyone's ever come.
I mean, Origin gave up.
Well, that's true. Origin as well. It's like EA and Epic. I both saw them try, but I didn't even realize that Amazon actually put in an effort at all.
And it's because on one hand,
I was like, oh yeah, I got a free game from them once. I don't even remember what it was.
EA was so cynical the way they were going about it. Like, no, we need our own. Just
for EA games only, though.
Yeah, and where Epic
I
at least
had a smattering of others, but
Epic at least tried the idea of, we're going to give you a bigger cut, and then
price, you can't sell it for less on another storefront.
The reason for that makes a lot of sense when companies like Ubisoft have asked, like, hey, can you stop reporting the numbers of games and not let everyone just comment on game and leave reviews? And Valve said no. Just no.
What?
And that's the thing. Like it's the weird thing of I don't like monopolies yet. I'm sort of like, except for this one because it's good for me right now.
They're a benevolent monopoly.
At least as long as Gaben's alive.
Yeah, I'm afraid that when Gaben passes away, things go downhill.
I will say, of all the companies, because the way Valve work, like, do you realize that a lot of the same people that made Half-Life are like the original are still at Valve? Like,
it's pretty incredible, really.
Well,
that's actually amazing.
Considering their earnings per employee, I imagine they're paid pretty well.
Yeah, I'm sure they're doing great.
But that's the thing. They actually pay them because they're like, hey, you know,
they don't lay them off when they have a bad game or a successful game, as the way the industry's going right now.
As Blizzard does.
I mean, who got fired as a result of what was that card game they tried to do?
I don't know of anyone.
Artifact.
Oh.
Artifact.
Yeah, they did try and do that.
But they just roll with it, and they're just like, okay, we learned a lesson, and because the thing is, come up with solutions and just do it, and you know, if it's a problem, we'll figure that out later, and it lets you can adjust on the fly. You're not locked in.
And again, you don't lose the game just because you happen to be being beat by one player because you have 11 other people on your team.
No, you just lose pride. On a payload map, someone has like the defense has pushed you all the way back to the spawn, and they're just spawn camping you. But one spy was able to sneak out and start pushing the little cart, and suddenly the defending team is like, "Wait!"
I was like, "Oh no!"
And like I love it because it literally can go either way. You go too far all in on one thing, you could get punished for it, or you could get amazingly rewarded. Because like the number of times I was just like, all right, everyone, Demo Man and Soldier, go. We're all going this. It's fine. Still being played, and it's still evolving. I mean, we didn't even discuss Man vs. Machine, which is I love the game mode.
Talk about the
Man versus Machine as much as y'all did.
I would love 6 people that just like it's whatever night and we just do Man vs. Machine every night.
Man vs. Machine time. Oh, man.
You know, I feel like I should have gotten really into it. I just didn't play it that much.
I had a blast when I did, but you do need a coordinated group.
I do like that style.
People, I mean, it's more because I think it limits your team size, right?
Yeah,
to like 5, 6. It's like
I think
Overwatch.
it's 6.
Well, I think
Overwatch
part of my issue is the few times I played it, there was people who kind of
so that it lets them take out groups of enemies.
That's nice.
In Spy, they have AoE Sapper, which can be really good versus giant unit. But I don't know, I enjoy it. It's difficult. It creates for some weird panic situations, and if you have a bunch of people who are good-natured about it, it can be very fun.
The thing is that's one of the modes where you have to be able to make mistakes until you figure it out. But people don't like it when you make mistakes because it compromises your ability to progress.
Yeah. Unlike a competitive game where it's like, all right, we're going to change all the flights. There is an actual solution. It's like, we know this works if you can execute on it.
Got to get the scout to collect the money. Yeah, I'm starting to remember now all the little parts.
But the thing is,
always played NG.
yeah. But the thing is, I don't know, some of the stuff you would get, like plus the medic, you could get you now have the meta shield, where you have like a Reinhardt style shield in front of the medic.
Oh my goodness! Wow. I might not have remembered all of that.
Yeah. Oh,
that was what I figured we'd end on, right?
It's exactly what I was doing, and I'm glad you noticed
sorry.
that. No, you're right. I put it at the top. It was the first thing I put for the end. But all right, other projects. Petrivka, do you want to promote anything?
Nope. Just happy to be here.
Lizzie, do you want to promote anything?
I will promote my stream, twitch.tv/Lizzie Petrichor. I do Pokemon shiny hunting.
Throw at us. All right. Lunasaur.
Suppose.
Oh wait,
Have I promoted 9 Souls already?
I don't think you have.
No.
Nine
What's
Souls,
that?
Metroidvania, made in Taiwan, based on ancient Chinese folklore.
It's a side scroller, right?
Yeah, side scroller.
I think I've heard things about it.
It's very like that. I mean, I know a lot of Metroidvanias that have kind of adopted a Souls-like formula, so you're probably
Even, you know, it's even on like our family playlists and our kids.
Find me twitch.tv/splicestream, but I also have a secondary channel that I'm trying to build up called Trivial Video Gaming. If you could give that a follow over on YouTube, I need to hit 50 before I can stream on it. I don't have anything there yet, but I have plans for it. So if you